All right, let us see if we can get this working here. Yeah. Says I'm live. Let's check that out. There it is. It is working, boys and girls. Happy days, man. Happy days. I'm back. I'm back. So I'm gonna mute this. I got that working. I don't want to be looking at that. And I got two camera feeds here. So if anybody happens to jump in, hey, I'm just literally trying to test some equipment here and see how this is gonna work out. But I am working on a CRV. As many of you know, or maybe you don't know, I haven't streamed in a while. And it was because of this little guy here. The computer I had was not cooperating, and it was an older machine with Windows 7, and it was doing the old 100% CPU usage, clipping and clipping out. And so basically what I want to do is I want to try and utilize a multi-camera setup, and I am obviously I need a good computer that's going to do that. So I cannot have a shabby computer that's got 100% CPU usage problem. Alright, so we got audio there. I got multiple cameras, which is cool. So I'm just gonna do a little test run, man. I haven't streamed in a while, but I want to. And I've had customers really enjoy the streaming. And in particular, I had customers that were really excited about seeing their particular car done in a live stream. And so for those of you guys that might have a shop, man, you might really want to consider doing this exact thing here. So what I'm going to be doing is I just want to test out the live stream with the multicam setup. I'm going to be getting, I want to ultimately have at least 3 cameras. And the whole thing here is using the OBS software. So this is the webcam. And it is, I can switch between this and the Logitech. And I'm going to do some different stuff with that. But that's the Logitech there. You can see that I have that just on a little tripod right here. No big deal. And so I'm just going to give a little shot here at the back as I work on stuff. And ultimately what I'll be able to do is switch between cameras and really get some tight close-up shots in there. If you guys want to say hi, feel free to say something in the chat there on the Tin Academy channel page there. I just said hello in the chat there, so whatever. Check that out. I will show one cool thing. I am going to show something here. I do have something that I can share. So I'm back. I felt bad. I checked in the other day, and I had people asking questions, and I had I don't know, I had new subscribers, and I'm like, I haven't been even paying any attention to this channel, and I've been so busy. I've been updating and doing some different things on the building. I purchased the building. I actually got it in my name now, so I am now making a payment. Instead of making a payment to the landlord, I'm making a payment to the bank. So it's in my name. I wouldn't act all proud and think I own it. The bank owns it. One day I'll own it, hopefully, and maybe it'll come in handy for some kind of retirement, rent it out or something like that. So I've been making some upgrades. I installed glass. I'll show you here. I got glass on the walls. I installed FRP board. So I got 4x6 sheets of glass on the wall. Makes for very nice tinting. Parking my pieces and trimming and all that good stuff. So we got that. I am going to show you a cheap hack here in a while. I'll show you a cheap hack for there's a bottom loading tool, and I forget the guy's name, the southern guy. I always do the same thing. I forget his name. Anyways, there's a fancy tool that you can use to bottom load. I'm sure some of you have seen it if you've been watching the sort of tint culture, tint community here on YouTube. But the specialized tool is for sliding behind the gaskets on a door window without taking the panel off. So you slide behind the gasket, kind of pull it out. I kind of showed the piece there. I'm going to show you something here real quick here. I'm going to switch to this other camera. And I've got a makeshift setup, and I'm going to show how I utilize it. So what I got here is this chunk of PVC gutter. It's not the greatest. It's just an experiment piece. But what I did was I heated it up, and I kind of flattened it out into one area. And it's got a little bit of curve so that it pops the gasket back naturally on its own. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of buying expensive stuff. And so this thing... and sometimes you need to slide the little another tool or something else in there to get this in there. But you can get this in there in much the same manner as that expensive tool that you can buy, and then you can bottom load. I'll do one. I'll do a bottom load on this side with the panel on, and I'll do a bottom load on the other side with the panel off, so you guys can see how that works. And we'll do a little test. We'll do a little time comparison. And let me readjust this camera even better here so we can really get a good shot on that. I'm just going to go up a little bit and center that, and that should be good. So now there's this fancy tool. It's aluminum. It's orange. It probably costs 50 bucks. I don't know. But I thought to myself when I seen it, you know what? I am going to do what I always do, and I'm going to come up with something cheap on the fly that I can get the same sort of functionality from. And I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to experiment with this and see if I even like this. Because I can tell you that I've bought many types of tools and spent lots of money on them, and then I didn't even really like how they worked. So then I just have them sitting in the corner or on the bottom of my my little tool cart there, and I never use them. So I basically wasted my money on them. And so I really don't like to do that anymore. I really like to find out, hey, is this thing actually going to really work, and is it going to be worth buying? And what I've found out in this instance is I still like to take door panels apart. It's still a better practice, in my opinion. It's cleaner, it's more efficient, it's more effective, it's more surefire. You're going to get a clean install with no creases, and it's a lot of times, most of the time, it's going to take less time just to pop the door panel. In particular on this vehicle, it's literally one screw and it's off in like less than a minute. It doesn't make sense for me to bottom load this piece with the door panel on because it's more efficient for me to just take the thing off and make sure I got enough room and I can get the piece in there without creasing it or picking up any dirt. And so I've found that overall I really don't like bottom loading with the panel on. It just is not better. But you can experiment with it all you want. I think this is my opinion, I think a lot of people are just scared to take panels apart until they realize that it's more efficient and it's better for you. It just works better and the job comes out better. And so it just makes more sense. But you got to kind of cross that line and go for it and actually start doing it to see the benefits in it. And that's probably the hard part for a lot of people. So I'm just shrinking this piece up here. You guys have seen me do CRVs before. It's no big deal. The video is not about this car at all. Literally, I'm just back, got new equipment, got a new PC that's got Windows 10 and powerful graphics card, so I don't have to worry about having issues clipping. And I'm literally live streaming from OBS, which was my intention all along, although I never could because it was always clipping. And so I think I'm doing pretty good. Um, what up, man? I don't know the Purple Platypus podcast. I'm not sure who you are, brother, but I've been missing in action. I've been uh, I've been so busy just with the increase in amount of work because it's spring and summer and the phone's ringing, my phone's going blowing up, and I've been getting a lot of texts. I actually do all my stuff through text. You guys know that. A lot of you know that. So I've been just busy, man. And quite honestly, this is about marketing and stuff, and I've been busy all the time, so I really didn't have a need, except for, with this channel to just share and build a subscriber base. So I just been busy, and I have just been procrastinating. But I'd like to be back, make some videos, help some people out, and get some good content up, and help anyone out. So if you guys, I've said it before, there's a bunch of new subscribers. I don't know, I've probably had at least 50 different new subscribers. So you guys can join up on the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/groups/Tint Academy. You can find me there. There's a link to that page on the uh, Tint Academy website. I think it's learnhowtotintcarwindows.com. It's been a minute now. I don't even know my own website anymore. That's how out of it I've been. I think that's it. Learnhowtotintcarwindows.com. So check us out if you got questions or you want to get some advice from somebody. You want to share something, comment up in here. I'm just going to test this equipment. I'm going to switch back and forth from different cameras. In the future here, we're going to have a nice setup. Jaybird, what's up, buddy? Hey, I seen you. Text me, man. I don't know. You haven't been getting in touch with me, but text me. J-Wise, you changed your name up. That's cool. I see. Been good. Been really good, man. Been busy, dude. Just busy. And but I miss you guys, man. And post up if you can't hear or if there's any issues. I shouldn't be chopping out. I'm going to be testing this new setup here, which is really the old setup with a new computer, a little bit more power, a little bit more horsepower in the video card department. And the idea is to to use the OBS system and have a multi-computer, a multi video I can't even think straight here. Let me say this once and for all. Multi-camera setup, okay? Here we go. I got it out. So what I can do is I can do like this, and I can switch. And so the goal is to have a camera over here, wireless, a camera over there, that I can get in tight on each and every shot. And then you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I want to be able to produce some good videos that are useful, And so then I can just use this broadcasting software to switch back and forth. So that's super cool. Good to see you guys. Hope things are going well for you. I see you, Jaybird, on Tint Dude. Active in there, asking a lot of questions and adding your 2 cents in there, and that's cool. I don't get involved on there too often. I kind of there's a lot of attitudes on there, and I don't want to. Seems like a lot of times when I comment, there's always somebody that wants to, instead of just letting everybody have their opinion or their method, and there's a lot of, angst and animosity and pride, and people want to kind of bicker about what they're doing or how you're doing stuff on there. So I don't get involved too much on there, but I like to go on there, and I like to see what people are doing. I've been doing a lot more paint protection film, which is awesome, and so I've been busy with that. And let's see here, maybe I can use this to get a good tight shot up here. Let's just try to do something a little different, and I'm gonna get this other camera involved here, and let's see what we can come up with. So, all right. Let's see what kind of action we can get here. We'll just show this. So I'll just go through, if you guys, whatever your method for cleaning is, I'll just kind of reiterate mine. I'll share what I can. I don't know, Jaybird, if you've seen, I got a little makeshift setup for bottom loading with the panel on, so I'm going to share that in a little while. And then, scrub pad, a little pot scrubber. Buy these at the dollar store. I usually go over the window with my white scrubby, tried and true. And then I'll hit it with the pot scrubber and get a little bit more of a deep agitation just in case. And most windows, as long as I got my game face on, I'll run my hand over just to see if I can feel anything. On this particular window, I've got some black dots, and they do seem to be coming off. And I can be honest with you, if I wasn't using this pot scrubber right now, these would be underneath the film. And luckily, I was looking close enough to see them. Now, I don't know if that's sloppy dot matrix or sloppy ceramic. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I'm going to be paying attention very closely now as I squeegee this, because if there's more, you know how this works. A lot of you guys are veterans, but for the new guys, if you find like some kind of stuff splattered on the back window and you find a couple of little dots or a couple little specks of some kind of contamination right here, safe to say there's probably more where that came from. And so I'm just going to be careful, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look behind my squeegee as close to my blade as I can to kind of focus and get a systematic sort of inspection so I don't miss anything. A lot of times if there is some contamination there, you'll have a little quick streaking of water behind the blade of the squeegee, and I think it's pretty good. But you can see, look at how dirty this water is. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of tough, but the water that's coming off the glass is filthy. It's literally filthy. And so it's, definitely you need to do a good job scrubbing here. I'm just going to double check and make sure. Yeah, I got audio. So I just, how I get about that. I just want to make sure I get audio. So let me just switch here. I'm going to try to utilize this setup a little bit more here and get a little more effective with this. I'm going to have a few more cameras and a little bit better setup here, but I am going to wet the window itself down. I'm not going to spray the top maybe 3 inches, 2 inches. I don't want to get any dirt coming down from above. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do a reverse roll here. I'll show you how that works. I've shown before, but there might be new people on board watching for the first time or whatever, and we're going to share some of that. And it's, basically it's good to go through and just reiterate the basics, hit the important points, stay focused on the fundamentals, get a good, solid, clean install, something you can be proud of, something that would qualify to be on your own car. Of course, a lot of times if you're the tinter, you probably rush through your own car. So I know I do. I end up with a little dust in that job. All right, so now I'm going to switch to this camera, which is cool. The power of the OBS, the open source broadcaster, or I think that's it. Is that it? OBS, yeah, okay. I think that's it. So now you can see, all right, I've got this thing exposed, a little bit of film, and the nice thing about doing this is the fact that gravity is working with you. So you'll see the bottom's hanging. I'm kind of pulling it away, and I'm going to just let the weight of the cellophane pull itself away, keeping that bottom, its natural gravitational force is keeping the bottom of the material away from all the plastic. You can see right now it's hanging there on its own. So I've got the top stuck down, I'm going to slide that up, and I'm going to make sure that I can get it and make intimate contact with the glass so I don't touch anything else. It's okay to bunch it up a little bit at the top. I'm going to make sure I get it positioned real nice. I like to leave myself a little channel at the bottom here where I can dry and get the water away. This is a tricky window because it's so curved in the bottom portion of the window itself. So you just want to be careful. Even though I've stretched it, I've done many of these, but the first time you do a CRV, or even if you just do them very rarely, you really want to be careful. What I'm going to do is tack it down in the center, get it tacked down pretty well in the center, and then I'm really going to smooth out and put a stretch effect in this area where it's really heavily curved. And I'm going to immediately get the water moisture. I just got water in my eye. I'm going to get the water and the moisture out from that top area before it has a chance to swell around. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it is now. And, you know, mix around and slosh around and then bring dirt from above back into the film. I don't want that, so I'm going to focus right away on squeegeeing that top area out. I want to get that water out of there. Obviously, the water is going to come down, more gravitational forces at work, if you will, and I don't want that to contaminate my workspace. So I'm just gonna come through with my, I got my triangle here with my slip tape as usual. Love, love, love the slip tape. And I can squeegee with hard cards on the film all day long and not worry about nothing. Not worrying about scratching or ripping or anything. Now in this second pass, I'm gonna push hard. I'm gonna get all that moisture that I can out of there and do a real systematic overlapping pattern, overlapping squeegee strokes, get all that out of there, and really just go for finished product here is really what I'm after. Just want clean, you know, one shot. I don't want to do this window twice. I'd like to just, of course, you guys know if you watched before, if I make a mistake, I just redo stuff right on live action repair work, because just that's how it is. Sometimes you got to do that. So I am gonna grab a good old-fashioned paper towel, and this is some of the few kinds of windows that I will actually do a old-fashioned dry squeegeeing on. Mostly in the areas where the water needs to be sopped up before it sucks back under the film. That's going to be a huge issue for you. That's going to be huge, 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 huge. Let me take your questions. I'll look at the I'll look at the screen here in a minute. But I'm going to finish this window, and then I'll be happy to just discuss or give insight, help, whatever I can do. If you guys want to communicate with me like directly, I'm even thinking of getting another Google voice number just for the tint Academy people that want to really kind of text me and get some questions answered. But go on the Tint Academy. It's facebook.com/groups/Tint Academy. You can join the group there and ask questions. There's really no action there right now. I know at some point there will be, because I'm going to make some really good videos and good content, and eventually that'll get going. But for now, join up there. I don't look at the YouTube stuff too often, unfortunately, guys. I really apologize. It doesn't give you the best notifications, so I don't see it until I go and check it, which really sucks for you. But let me see here. So I covered where I've been. Andrew says, love your videos. Remember a video where you mentioned your powder shrink. I too powder shrink. Can't seem to switch to dryer sheets or soap. Have you ever tried Clean Freak shampoo? No, I have not. I'm not even certain what that is. So maybe post up a link, or maybe explain that a little bit. PPF is I'm gonna make some PPF videos, man, because quite honestly, what's out there is pretty stale and pretty incomplete. There isn't a whole lot of good stuff. I have a paint protection film job coming in tomorrow, and I'm gonna live stream for that, I think. I usually don't live stream for those PPF jobs because they're really nerve-wracking, and you really want to keep your focus on the job because that film is so expensive. If you happen to jack up a piece of film, like say a 10-foot bumper section, you're talking $70 worth of film right there or more, depending on the type of film. So is that the new side swiper? Oh, no, you know what? This, it actually, I mean, it is, look at it. It's a side swiper, right? This is a Chinese knockoff, bro, that I had to order from China. It took 3 weeks to get it. I ordered three, so I got a couple replacements, but really kick ass. You can really get a good amount of leverage on this thing. It's excellent for side windows. I use it for just about all my side windows, back windows, just about everything. I really like it and enjoy it. And I seen this on AliExpress. You can only get it on AliExpress or eBay. They are selling them on eBay. I think I did actually buy it on eBay. So go there, order them. If you just type in mini side swiper, or I'm not sure, but it is a knockoff. So, but you can fit the regular, Blue Max blade in there, and they work excellent. So I'll hit a back window, like that, and then when I dry squeegee, I'll actually do this type of pulling on each side, overlapping strokes. And then recently, because it's been hot, I really been doing more of a dry squeegee, but with this card, with the slip tape, of course, and that is getting that final amount of moisture out of the back window. That has really been a problem for me since the temperature changed, the humidity came up, the temperature's higher, and I have been running into situations where I'm squeegeeing my hardest with this thing, and I'm still leaving moisture and water behind, and then by the time I see it, it's outside after the job's done, and you got a little orange peel, which is no big deal. It dries out, but the customer sees that, and they don't really like that. So yeah, mini side swiper, check that out. Discord Matt is using it, blah, blah, blah. Many people, I'll have to check that out. I'm not sure who that is. Slip tape I order either from Conqueror Tools or 44tools.com. And so let's get a little more work done, guys. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to chat in there. And I'll check in again in a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to I'm going to focus here. I'm going to have enough cameras set up here in the near future to really make this really nice and seamless. But I'm going to cut some film. I got to change my roll here on my plotter. And hopefully if you guys have any issues hearing me or anything like that, please feel free. You can notice that I have all my films hung up now. That's something I can share a little bit with you. So after I closed on the building, and really I got the building in my name and it's mine, and I'm not wasting my money spending any money and time on what I have here. I have all my Reno window films, which I can't say enough good about. Reno is kick-ass. Love, love, love the Reno films, ceramic films that work. Got the heat box. I can show people the difference between the S5, the S7, the S9. Look for your local rep and order a sample. Get a sample of Reno. Shrinkability is awesome. It's a full carbon-based window film, and it's color stable. It's made with the color right in the substrate base layer, as opposed to all the other big names, Lumar and this and that, and the other guys. They all have a dyed polyester with layers on that. But Reno's got the first carbon infused nano ceramic technology, and really loving the Reno. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to set up my plotter here with the proper film. I'm running a little bit low on my lower end stuff. What I put on these dealer cars is a little bit different film. So that I'm not going to share right now. Because honestly, I might sell that on my site as a practice film, and I'll share that then. Okay, I still got audio, so that's cool. I've been also testing here. I am testing XPEL's Design Access program. Now these guys, they get 300 a month for this particular software, and I'm not really excited about that. I'm using film and vinyl designs currently. That is 150 a month with paint protection film pattern access. So that's pretty affordable considering the DAP is double the price, and you have to order their film. Now, the only reason I'm trying is somebody said the patterns were better, and I'm finding that the patterns are very similar. The DAP system is missing the vinyl patterns for like at the top of a back windshield when there is ceramic that needs to be covered. There's a few things that it's lacking in, and I'm a little disappointed in some of that. But nonetheless, I'm enjoying it. I found that the paint protection film patterns I do seem to be better. But I'm trying to decide, and the thing is this, is I am gonna probably, I'm looking at going down to Texas and taking their certification to be a factory certified installer for XPEL paint protection films. And what's cool about that is you can get on their website and you can then, when people search for a certified installer in your area, your name will come up. So I'm trying to figure out if that'll bring me more paint protection film work. And really what my goal is to gravitate myself away from all the wholesale work that I do for the local dealerships and make myself less dependent on them few sources of work and bring myself more retail work and diversify myself out a little bit so that I can have a little bit better. Now I don't know why that is. There it is. It focused in. Anyways, I want to make it so I have a little bit more variety in my day, a little bit more certainty that I'm going to be busy and be working. And I just, I get tired of doing a lot of, wholesale tinting on kind of like the same cars. So Global's been very beginner friendly for me. Love it. Shrinks well. Yeah, I heard. I hear pretty good things about Global. Although I think it's in the Eastman Chemical Group family of films. So like Lumar, Suntech. I think Global's owned by Eastman Chemicals, and really, I just don't like the brand names. You guys know that. I'm gonna be out of the shot for a second, but I really don't like the big brand names that are taxing for their products. I think Global's pretty affordable. I don't have nothing against it. Quite honestly, I've never really tried it, so I don't know. But I I I found out about Reno and I tried their product and I just really enjoy, and it's really affordable. And the S9 is comparable to something you might see along the lines of even crystalline or hopper for a ceramic film that's filtering out 90% of the infrared heat, and it's it's under $1,000 a roll, which is expensive, and that sounds crazy for probably somebody just getting started. But it's an attractive price point. Their entry level S5 ceramic film you can get for like about 230 bucks. They're right in Chicago, so my orders are shipped next day for regular ground shipping prices. And the product's excellent, customer support's excellent. I deal with Ed Grybo, I think that's how you say his name, and he is in Chicago at the Chicago office. So I'm really enjoying the Reno, and I don't have nothing against whatever. If you're using something and you like it, I use it and enjoy it. I got these. new Alpha, 45 millimeter Alpha, pizza style cutters. They're nice. I picked these up off of Amazon. I think they were 11 bucks a pop. I got a couple of them, but I was keeping them up here, like right next to where I spray, and they were getting wet and the blade was rusting out. So now I'm kind of keeping them in my little tool, but I'm not pushing at all. I'm just really pushing very lightly, and I don't mean to get in the shot, sorry. But I'm going to trim away the excess, and I'm going to show you. I can really zip through this and cut off the excess and separate these two pieces really easily, and get my pieces prepped up. One thing that maybe might have changed, since maybe you might have seen a video of mine, I'm always trying new stuff. Jaybird knows. He's doing the same. We're two veterans. I've been doing this 27 years. He's been at it 20 some years. And we're constantly evolving and happily gravitating to new techniques and new procedures and trying to really just up our game and stay relevant. And so I'm going to set this here for now, guys. I'm just going to set that there for now, and I'll switch back and forth a little bit. I think I'm not going to really do any real tight shots here. This isn't about this car. I just came on here to hang out with you guys and shoot the breeze and maybe offer some kind of value, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one camera on one side, this camera on this side, and I'll switch back and forth as I go here. But what I'm gonna do here for now is I'm gonna go ahead, take this, let me check the chat here. I don't know if I addressed that. Andrew, thank you, sir. Congrats on owning your own building. I'm really carefully using that terminology because the bank owns the place. I was lucky enough, by the grace of Yahweh, God, the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to be able to save up the 10% needed to put down on this building and get it in my name. It's a blessing. So I'm happy that I was able to do that. And it's cool. It's awesome. You know what changed is I'm very, very excited to come in here every day. It's really changed my outlook on working for some odd reason. I mean, it's like I would kind of, like anybody else, sort of dread going into work, and I'd rather just, do my own thing daily. But I have really had a newfound appreciation for coming into work, man. It really has been a real blessing to do that and have this my shop, and it's something else. It's different. So that's cool. It's been cool. Couldn't find the generic side swiper. Global is Garware QDP 1.2 mil. Truly lasts 13 years plus for my truck. No fade. Reno sounds awesome. Positive reviews. Yeah, it's cool, and I don't doubt Global at all. It's definitely, I'm sure, dyed polyester with, UV protection coating and whatever, and I'm sure it's a good film. And check out the prices, get a sample of Reno. Maybe you might like it better. I really am really enjoying offering a full line of carbon-based and ceramic films at an affordable price. It's pretty cool. I'll look for the generic side swiper link later, Jaybird. I'll check that out for you a little later here. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and do some quick cleaning. I am gonna just put the key on here, and I'm gonna on the very last window. So I gotta remember what I'm doing here. On this driver's side, I am going to pop the panel, and I'm gonna pop the panel on this side, and I'm gonna leave the panel on the passenger side, and I'm gonna just do a little comparison, and we can kind of we can look at the time. We can keep track of the time frame and just see. And I'll be really honest with you. If you didn't tune in the time frame where I was showing now make note of the time here, right? I'm gonna pop this door panel, and I am gonna make note of how long it takes to pop the door panel versus how long it takes to fiddle around with bottom loading with the door panel on. I mean, I'm gonna take one screw out. I'm gonna pop this panel, get it off. I'm gonna reseat the clips. I've reseated the clips, okay? That's all I've done. So the clips are back in the original spot. I didn't even use a screw to hold the door panel in, and I had the door panel off in less than 30 seconds. Now, I'm gonna show this one more time here. This is the makeshift, so Jaybird's aware of the little bottom loading tool that the Southern guy, I forget his name, he's hooked up with Ralph from whatever, I forget the names right now. I'm sorry, guys. You guys know who I'm talking about, but they have that bottom loading tool. It's like orange. It's aluminum. You slide it in the gasket. I took and I got myself a PVC gutter, which I used the same type of gutter setup below my glass here. So all my water goes down, drips into the gutter, and goes down that way, and comes out by the drain. So I don't have my floor all soaking wet every day, which is cool. But I took and I got this chunk of gutter material, and I kind of heated it and made this section flat. You can see the curve in here. I made this section flat so I can get this in the gasket and pull and do my bottom load. So what I'm going to do is on the other side, on this particular side, I will do this bottom load. Now this gasket's kind of tight, so what I'm going to do is slide my big foot in there and then I'm going to get that seated in there. And and it's hard. It is hard. Some windows it's easy, but some windows it's hard, and this one is going to be a little tricky because the panel's tight. But I'm going to do a little test here, and I'm going to bottom load with the panel off. Now you've seen it took me less than 30 seconds to get that panel off, and then you're going to see what kind of a struggle it is. Yeah, I'm still using alcohol. Although now that it's hot and really more humid up here now, you got to really adjust the alcohol on a daily basis up here. But nonetheless, I'm going to do this window here. I am going to bottom load this one with the panel off, and I'll bottom load the other one with the panel on. And you can get an idea of how this works. So I'm going to go over this one time with the white scrubby. Then I got my little pot scrubber. I like to use little circular motions on this if possible. And then just get a good, effective squeegee job on this. Roll it up, hit that bottom edge. A lot of times there'll be adhesive below the gasket here that you don't see unless you have the panel off. And, you know, most door panels, I see guys struggling with this concept. Most of these door panels, guys, you can literally get all 4 door panels popped. And I didn't fill this out with my hand here, but I'm just going to wing it on this one. If this was a customer car, I would really literally be taking twice the time to clean. This is a used car off the used car lot. If I happen to have contamination, I'll have to pull the piece and start over. I forgot to do this little back window. I do these now. I don't even go inside the car. You guys have seen me do this before on these simple CRVs, and this is just, I do these like these are like my bread and butter. I got 2 of these today to do. I'm just working on a Sunday. Some of you guys know I keep the biblical 7th-day Sabbath, so I don't work. I take off Friday, which is the prep day biblically, and I take off Saturday and I just chill and rest on those days. So I'm in here on a Sunday doing my thing, and it's awesome. but I got 2 of these CRVs to get done. They want them to look like the rest of the units that come with the factory tint, so it's like really a common car. I do a lot of them. I'm happy to do them. They're good money. Um, they're quick. I mean, I can literally do one of these in 40 minutes typically if I'm not blabbering on here. So here, let me let me just get this. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna bring this camera over here. I'm gonna have the camera focused on the where I'm gonna do the bottom load on the door with the panel on. So let me get this set up. In the future, I'll just literally be swapping cameras on this broadcasting software here. Andrew says smart idea. I'm not sure which idea, brother. Oh, Rick Tallman. Yeah, I can never remember that guy's name. I don't know why. I like his videos. I like that guy. He's kind of like a down-to-earth, real, kind of a real dude, right? He's not really trying to pretend to be something he ain't on there and all that good stuff. I wish I could. Yeah, let me turn this. I want to get a really good. I'm gonna get a really good shot of this bottom load here with this door panel on, because this is really what we're focusing on this particular job. And then, all right, so now, okay, cool. All right, cool. So I'm gonna now this one, I got the window powered up. I got that's just a little mark from this thing when I slid it in, maybe. No biggie. So I'm gonna leave the panel on. This is totally doable, but let me just kind of go through and just talk about why I don't like this. It's not surefire from my experience, like just popping that door panel. Number one, it leaves you open and susceptible to contamination still, because you're just bouncing off so much stuff. You've got stuff in the way, and you really can't get an intimate insertion of the film the way you can if the panel's off. It's just, unless maybe I'm not good at it and maybe you are, I don't know, but so far from my findings, I'm just finding it not to be as surefire way of getting a solid install that's clean. The other thing that I've run into on some vehicles, and I think I've kind of figured out why, is if I have this too close to where I'm inserting the corner, when I pull this back, there's a tendency for it to want to crease like right in here in this area. So I found that if I have this back farther and kind of really manipulate the film in a different way, but like this particular window, I can only get about 1/4 of an inch when really pulling. So I use this on when I don't want to take panels off for whatever reason. Like, let's see, there's certain vehicles that just aren't worth all the rigmarole to take the panels off. Let's say, for instance, some Fords where you are, and this one I'm going to feel, I want to make sure I don't have nothing really there that can contaminate my piece. And it feels good. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my squeegee blade in the crevice in the edges there as good as I can, as deep as I can into there, and I'm gonna hit these sides. I really kind of want to make sure I get a good install on this as best as I can. I want to leave myself with a really. In the bottom, of course, before it dries out, before I really try and do the install, I'm just going to spray that down and just rinse everything from there. And I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to let that sit, guys. That's going to sit until I'm ready to do actual installation. And I'm just going to move this back. I'm going to just get kind of a wider shot back here. And eventually I will have all the cameras needed for not worrying. I'll just seamlessly be switching through cameras. So what I'm going to do now is just off camera, I'm just going to grab pieces. I'm going to slap these two little ones on. You guys have seen these simple Honda CRVs. There's really, nothing really high. What am I trying to say? There's no real, secret to these. I like to do these installs from outside. It saves time. I'm able to get these pieces on without contaminating them even from standing outside the vehicle, which is nice. Saves time. That's another thing I've been doing. I had a kid that was training actually it was my stepson, but he's promising he could do a good job, but he'd rather party and he can't show up for work. So I've said this before. It's unfortunate for him. It would have been a nice opportunity for him, but if I schedule extra work and you can't show up for work and I get stuck doing, more work than I want to do by myself, then that ain't gonna work for me. So I gave him 4 chances. He couldn't show up on time. So here I am working by myself again, which probably isn't the smartest thing, but it is the the least amount of brain damage I can incur on myself, if that's the right wording. So anyways, I'm able to slap those in there real clean. What I'll do is I'll just do an old-fashioned dry squeegee with a paper towel on this little window just to sop up everything that's around the edges. Simple. I mean, I don't. These are no-brainers. Um, I'm just gonna knock these out of the way here before we really take a peek at the two-window test here. We'll call it the bottom load test. And I already know the outcome. We'll see. I'll do my best. I mean, I'm not going to sabotage. If I'm able to bottom load that with the panel on and it turns out good and I get it pretty quickly, you'll see the results real time. And if not, you'll see the results real time. I've had it, and like I'll be honest with you, if I get a little crease, if I get a little imperfection, a little dust, I'm only gonna just heat that and iron it out. I'm not gonna redo that piece unless it's really bad, or yeah, if it's bad enough, which I'll judge in my own way. But just because this is a used car off the car lot, nobody's looking at the tint. They're not buying a tint job. They're buying a car and they're just standing back and looking at the car. They're not judging and grading the tint. No one's even looking at the tint. So it's a little bit more lenient than like if I'm doing a customer car and I'm taping off gaskets and we're really trying to do something outstanding, which I do for my customers that are paying, especially if they're buying, well, really any customer. If they're buying good film and they're bringing in their car, I want that thing to turn out really nice. I gotta drink some of this stuff here because my throat is... All right. Oh, tint stuff. That guy, he hasn't made a video. He hasn't made a video in a while. Unless he started again. You could probably use 2 gutters. Oh, the gutter idea. Yeah, I just was looking for something that was similar. Similar shape, cheap. I mean, you buy a whole 10-foot section of gutter for like $4. So instead of buying this $60 tool or whatever it is, I mean, I just thought, man, I can use this. It's thin. It's a thin piece of plastic. It works. You can just go to your big box home improvement store and do whatever. Oh, okay. He's been going live with Discord. I don't even know who Discord is. See, I'm like a nerd who's trapped in his basement and doesn't know anything. What is this now? What do you think the customer said first after getting their car tinted? What are some of your experiences? As far as like quality, I mean, you know what? 90% of customers don't even look at the car closely. They just stand back and love the change in overall appearance. I'm an expert at dealing and knowing which kind of customer I'm dealing with. I'm sure many of you guys are too. So I can tell who's going to come in and nitpick the hell out of the work before they even make an appointment. Because the things that they say, the other day I had a guy, this should be, let me get closer. The other day I had a guy, and he says to me, he goes, he's like, you're not gonna, buy, oh, I gotta be careful. Hold on. You're not gonna, suddenly not be able to finish the car and need to keep it all weekend, are you? And dude, that pissed me off. Because basically what he was saying was, you're not a liar who's going to want to keep my car all weekend and drive it around, are you? Um, okay. Yeah, I'm going to check him out. So anyways, just a total anal guy. You deal with that sometimes. It's just part of this business. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just par for the course here. I'm ready now, guys. You've seen me do this here. I'm really focusing right now. I'm just gonna do this, and I'll show you later. But I'm still using the alcohol. But I'm not spraying the whole window with it. Like what I'm doing is I'm spraying the window with the regular slip solution here with my regular, and I did change my solution. I've got 2 large squirts of soap in my solution because of the humidity and the temperature here. But what I'm going to do on the piece is I'm going to spray the piece up to about here with a regular solution, and I'm going to put alcohol only here. And if you've seen, I have the patterns upside down on the board so that I can make that possible. And that'll help me just stick the top down, and it'll help me to get the piece in position so it's not really like drying right away. And so that's kind of the system I've been utilizing. And I'm down to 2 capfuls of alcohol, and I'm probably going to drop down to 1 capful of alcohol in the solution, because I'm just finding that with the temperature change and in the humidity that I do have, I just don't need that much alcohol right now. It's really, I just need a little bit in that top section. So we're going to bottom load this. Try to make it so you guys can see. But see, now the portion that I've sprayed with the alcohol, it's not even touching the glass yet, really. And now it is. And so what I want to do is I just want to get this in position with a nice tight edge at the top before the alcohol really gets going. And so right there I'm pretty happy. And I maybe just a little bit farther that way, nothing major. And then you'll see the side swiper. Now on that window, the next window that I'm going to do with that panel in place, I'm not going to use alcohol at all, because I need that little extra ability to slide more on that window. Because of the fiddling around, because the panel's in place. And quite honestly, I'll be honest, that thing might not go on smooth right away, and I might have to cut another piece. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's that unpredictable. And especially the passenger side tends to be my weak hand, so it's a little more tricky even with that. So we'll see. We're going to do the test, but look at how easy this went into place. And I only spent 30 seconds taking the panel off. It's really... Do I still got audio? I'm not certain about my... Yeah, okay. I'm not certain about my charge on this headset. So I just want to make sure I can get it all in. And I'm just going to hit these edges with my, the tried and true... what is this again? I forget now. Easy reach. Now I've got just the bottom to I'm gonna go over it one time with the generic mini swiper, whatever you want to call it. Really love that thing. I'm not sure why they don't make one of those. I don't know, but I thought of it and started the first. You know what I did? This is what I did. First thing I did was I went on Google and did a search for mini side swiper, and I just started looking at images. And I looked at images until I found it, and then I went to the page that it was coming from. That's how I found it the first time. Which that's a search that I do pretty often. So, I mean, you see there, guys. I mean, that's just a straightforward bottom load, no big deal. It's done. And what we'll do here is we will switch to the other side. And I just gotta fiddle around with these cords still. This is the most annoying time, and that's why I don't do more live streaming, because it takes time fiddling around with this camera. And honestly, the reason I'm doing live streams is because I don't want to have to edit video and make more work for myself. I mean, that is totally lame. So here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna bottom load with this makeshift rigged up tool that I'm pretty certain is pretty darn near the same functionality as the expensive tool that you can buy. And we'll just do a little experiment. I mean, basically, I got that whole door done in an effortless manner in under, I don't know, 5 minutes. But this is more of a struggle, and I'm honestly telling you, I can't even guarantee my success on this thing. Now I'm holding back. You can see the water's disappearing. I got to hold the door with my knee, and I'm going to do a good amount of spraying. And I'm going to have this thing a little bit away from that corner. I'm going to get that film down in there right here, and then slide it forward. And let's see what we can do. I'm gonna try to keep my focus here, and I really, number one is you don't want any dry spots. You don't want your film to be dry in any kind of a way. You want to have enough soap and have enough slip agent in place. And so what I'm gonna do is I want to hold the piece down. And I'm already bunching up. There we go. So this is the weak hand, and I'm making sure that I got this piece away. And it's just tricky because and I can already see that I've got a bunch here, and so I want to get the right amount of film bunched up there so that I can slide this into place. And I'm going to keep the film shimmied. You can see I'm kind of over exaggerating this a bit because I don't want that to stick down. And then once I feel, I'm going to roll this down. I think, okay, I got it down just a little, and I'm going to gently pull this out to the side. It worked out pretty good. And now I'm just going to take a little extra second to position. Again, I don't have alcohol on here. And so I'm not going to push too hard here first time. I don't want to move the piece. But I was able to, I was bunched up right here as if I was going to crease it. And luckily I seen that, and I gave the relief before I actually did crease it. Because what it would have boiled down to is if I would have moved that plastic piece in either direction prematurely before seeing that, I would have creased it, because I've done it before. And you know, like a lot of this other stuff with tinting windows, it's all trial and error. And unfortunately, you're going to damage some film, which isn't altogether bad, because then you can take an opportunity to learn how to fix your mistakes. Maybe you need to learn how to iron out creases with your chiseler. Or maybe you need to learn how to iron out a little bit of dust and dirt with the chiseler, and how much heat does that take, and you don't want to melt the film and have the film boiling. My film moved a little bit. The film is still moving, and so I'm going to on this particular window, I'm going to heat the corners with the torch. I'm going to give about 5 seconds of heat. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. And that'll just heat my corners up enough so the piece stops moving. And I feel pretty good about it. It looks like it's okay. It doesn't look like I picked up any contaminants. And it's just a little more iffy, man. There's more manipulation, there's more stuff in your way. And I'm not saying that it can't be done, because look, it can be done. I just did it with a cheap piece of a gutter. uh, a cheap piece of plastic gutter, kind of molded and shaped into a modified tint tool, which most people wouldn't imagine doing because they think, oh no, I gotta buy this expensive stuff. I've got a finger there that I gotta deal with. So one of the things that I think is a must, which I didn't do this time because I was focused more on the camera and running my mouth than on the film and the actual job. One of the things that I usually do is I pre-shrink the film on the glass when I do this, and I forgot to do that just because I was focusing on the video, and that's part of this too. It's like your attention goes out the window. So I got a finger here. Let's deal with this. I'm gonna slide my big foot behind there, and I'm gonna have it in the right position where I can heat that, and I'm gonna use my my diamond tip with the slip tape. I'm gonna heat that, and I'm gonna come in at the right angle, and I'm gonna knock that out of there with some heat, and I'm real carefully gonna shrink that up. And with this in there, I can get a little heat behind and going even down behind the door panel. So I'm just gonna snake it up real quick, and what I'm gonna do is now, and you've run into this yourself probably, it's come over there. And so I'll go over there and snake a little bit more. Alright, and I want to make sure I'm not pointing at the panel, because you can melt the panel really easily. Done that. Don't want to do that again. Alright, and I see that I have a little bit of moisture in this front corner that didn't really get squeegeed out. See, there's a little bit more manipulation involved with this. There's a little bit more of dealing with moisture that's trapped in the gaskets that's going to suck up under the film. There's just a little bit more room for error in this method versus just popping the panel and taking 30 seconds to pop the panel. It's literally, so, don't be scared to pop panels, man. Learn how to pop panels. I'm going to heat this. This is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to dry the adhesive and force the adhesive to be cured fast. And it's also going to make any additional fingers develop right away. So this really wasn't even a true-to-life test because you didn't see me shrink the piece, which you absolutely must do. But you did see me fiddle around a little bit more with dealing with the finger as a result of not shrinking the piece. So you can see that there's just more fiddling around involved, a little bit more risk of, error and damaging your piece. And but all in all, it's a system you can use. And like I said, I use this exclusively on cars that I just think that that particular process is more advantageous. Now look, my finger's back. Look at that. A full-blown finger's back there. Look at it. And this isn't even a curved window, so it's just, you see what I mean? It's like I didn't have any of that. I didn't shrink that other side, but since there's moisture trapped in this area, this is just more prone to this type of behavior. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the gasket back a little bit on this side and send more heat behind there, being careful not to point my heat gun at the panel when I'm not using it. I'm pointed down and away right now. I'm gonna spend a little time putting heat on this because I want to see if anything else is gonna pop up. Now this shouldn't pop up anymore. It's hot, and I'm gonna have to watch this and just make sure that it's sitting now. It should be good. Actually, that finger there was probably produced by the heating of the glass, so we should be good now. We'll keep an eye on that. But so there's the example, man. Dude, the Harbor Freight I'm reading finger here. The Harbor Freight heat guns. I still see people buying these expensive heat guns, and I just don't know why. I don't know why. Harbor Freight, the heat guns go on sale. They're $8, and then I buy 4 or 5 of them. And look, I'll just shimmy over here, and if you see, look, it's probably hard to see. You probably can't tell, but here's 4 Harbor Freight heat guns right here, brand new in the box, that I bought when they went on sale for $8.99, and I just keep them there. And you might get a dud. It might only last a month. The last one I had lasted a month. The one before that lasted a year. So for $9, I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, guys. So I'll go through and just finalize this job, and then I'm gonna cut you off. I really appreciate you guys coming in today, checking it out. That's gonna be good. And that was our little demo of the makeshift homemade bottom loading tool that anybody can make. Go to the big box store, get yourself a chunk of gutter, and you can make varying sizes. You can make a couple shorties and maybe a couple longer ones that you can pair together. Although I know what you're thinking, and I haven't found that the system of utilizing 2 together works well. It seems to work better if you are utilizing 1 and have the ability to move it back and forth. And but experiment around, save some money, learn how to make yourself some tools and all that stuff, and just play around with stuff. And you'll find that there's another tool that I'll make a video on next time. I'll share that, because right now there was something else I wanted to show. I can't even remember what it is right now. But next time I'll show that. And the finger's back. Look at this. I'm not gonna show it up close, but the finger's literally back. So this is what you got to deal with when you keep the panel on. And if I would have shrunk it, it wouldn't be doing this, but I forgot to shrink it. And and I'm sure people will leave comments, and sometimes people leave nasty comments. It's like, okay, you're perfect, and then let's see your live stream. You know what I mean? So this one is literally, I don't have nothing to do but just, I'm going to wipe this window down, and I'm going to watch for another finger to pop up, which hopefully won't happen, but it could. and you're seeing firsthand how there's a little bit more. Even if you shrink it, you could have a finger pop up. I have, and just in my experimenting around, it's inevitable. You're gonna run into. I know if I bottom load the piece with the door panel off, that 99% of the time I'm gonna get a perfect install. I just know it. But I know that if I do that thing there, it's just as risky as top loading and fiddling around with tucking and all that other stuff. Which I won't. I don't. Rarely do I do that anymore. So, anyways, guys, this is all set. I appreciate you guys stopping by and coming in. Yeah, the finger was jacking me. So, love your participation. J-Wise, thanks. J-Bird, super cool to see you guys again. The other brother, Andrew, thanks for joining in. We got 6 people watching, so next time comment, man, be a part of it. Not sure who you are. If you're a vet, add some value to the video. If you're a beginner, don't feel like you can't ask questions and do whatever and hang out. But I'm back. I'm gonna get some more stuff. My plan here is to get these adapters to make the webcams wireless and have at least a 3-cam setup, maybe more. So I'll have like a cam here for these doors, a cam there for those doors, cam in the back for the overall widescreen footage, a camera facing the plotter and the cutter, and then all I got to do is just swap between cameras and stuff and share everything. So yeah, I'll check out Discord. Let me look at that. Is that the full name of the channel? Discord. Yeah. What's the full name of the channel, bro? Is it Discord Tint or something? I see Tint stuff comes up with that. Linked Discord chat. Alright, I might have to learn more about what that is. It looks like it's something Tint stuff dude's using. So, okay, I'm gonna have to learn more about that. I'll check it out. Alright, I will check that out. It's an app you add to your system. It's a chat system. Alright. So maybe you're saying maybe I should use it with my live streams the way this cat's using it with his. Alright. It's something, oh, we can all verbally communicate with each other. Oh, okay, I see. It's like, okay, it's like Ventrilo or something. I gotcha. So we can literally communicate voice communication. Okay, I'll look it up later. That sounds cool. That's what this should be anyways. All right, cool. I'll do that. All right, guys. Be blessed. Thank you, and hope things are working out well for you. Hope you guys get busier, get stuff going. Not sure, Jay-Wise, if you're working, doing tinting full time, or getting more practice or whatever. Hope you're getting better at the craft. And we will talk to you guys in the next stream. If you guys haven't already, very few have, so there's only a couple of people in there, but eventually there will be something there to take part in the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Tint Academy, or learnhowtotintcarwindows.com. You can check out stuff there. And good to talk with you guys again. We'll be in touch. I'll see you around the interwebs on the Tint Dude site there or wherever. And Jaybird, feel free, text me, man. We haven't talked in a while. I'm always around, so you got my number. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, have a good one. And we will talk on the next video. Take care.